What's up, Havenites, and welcome to another episode of the Pull List. I think we might be on about episode 15. Look, for everybody that's been watching the Pull List and our live streams and our shorts, thank you very much. Like I said last week, we have gotten over 500 subscribers. That was huge for us because that was definitely one of our goals. Thank you so very much. One of the ways that y'all can really and truly help support us and help support the channel is by hitting the like, hitting the subscribe, make comments on the videos, share out the videos. It can even be a simple comment, just say hi, because that does help the YouTube algorithm. And like somebody else said on another channel once, the YouTube algorithm is a massive beast that if we all band together, we can defeat it. With that being said, let's get started. Storefolio. Hey, are y'all like putting stickers on y'all store folios and stuff? Or y'all even getting store folios? Dress it up. You be you. Have some fun. So it was, it wasn't a massive week, but it wasn't a bad week. It was still pretty good. We're going to we'll jump right in here. So, right off the bat, by Dynamite, we have Fire and Ice, issue number 1. For the Gen Xers out there, the people my age, Fire and Ice, y'all kind of already have an idea of what this is. For the new ones, this is actually a prequel to a movie that come out, I believe, in the late 70s, early 80s. This was a really good issue as far as being a prequel was concerned. I feel like they caught the essence of the movie, so to speak. They caught the general vibe of it. The art really and truly would fit in with the movie itself. Basically, what's going on here is we have a sacrifice that's about to be made, a main character. I don't want to give away a whole lot, but I do want to try to give y'all enough to make you want to pick this up, because I feel like this is going to be a really good read. I feel like it's going to fit in there, even though it's a different company. If it's going to fit along the same level as Death Dealer by Opus Comics. But basically, there is a sacrifice that's about to be made. One of our main characters, or main characters in this particular issue, makes his way back to the Kingdom of Ice, which is where he's from, which I believe was the North. And in it, he is the firstborn that should be inheriting his mother's powers and everything when she's getting ready to step down, even though he really and truly doesn't want them at this time. He ends up being betrayed by his younger brother, who you do get the vibe that the mother really and truly does not like. We do have kind of like the jungle or the forest people. Some of those are being kidnapped. It does get a little violent in this issue, but I don't know how they're going to set it up. And to be honest with y'all, it's probably been around years since I've actually seen the animated movie Fire and Ice. So I do kind of want to try to track a copy of that down again and watch it one more time. If any of my friends out there have got a copy, holler at me. But as far as a book is concerned, yes, there is violence in here. I don't think it's quite on the level yet as, say, something like a Death Dealer. But this is definitely going to be for your sword and sorcery, barbarian type crowds. Little D&D thrown in. I think it's going to be a really good read. I really enjoyed what they did with the first issue. I enjoyed the mini cliffhanger that they put on there. I thought that was really cool. There is even a ad in the back for an action figure. May have to send off for that. Don't know just yet. So that was Fire and Ice, issue number 1 by Dynamite Comics. Oh, for those of you that don't know, you are marching toward a war between Fire and Ice, basically the North and the South, pretty much say the poles, if you want to look at it that way. There is a massive war heading, and some people they don't want it to happen, others do want it to happen. That's kind of your vibe that you're going to get from this book. But still, it was a solid read. Do it. No. Think global. More global. So the bug just asked, like a civil war? No, not like a civil war. More like a global war is how it would come down. Maybe one day we'll actually get the bug on here to review some of the comics that she's reading. Scarlet Witch, Scooby-Doo, Fantastic Four. Next up on the list, we have Moon Knight, issue 26. This entire issue is really about Hunter's Moon. I think Hunter's Moon is a great character. I love this character. I wish that he would get his own book or his own miniseries. There's so much there. That's a very rich and deep character, and you really find out how deep this character is in this particular issue. This was another fantastic issue by McKay. Basically, in this issue, Hunter's Moon is sitting down with a psychiatrist, and he is the last Moon Knight, or fist of Khonshu that Khonshu resurrected. You find out that Khonshu will resurrect fists, 10, 12 times. Well, without Khonshu there, because he is imprisoned on Asgard based on what all happened from Age of Khonshu, his resurrection, Hunter's Moon resurrection, kind of went astray a little bit, and he's always been able to, basically, for lack of a better way to put it, to communicate with previous Moon Knights, those that have passed on, and I guess maybe to like seek their counsel or something. But now, instead of communicating with them, they are actually taking over his body, and we do see him become the living embodiment of the very first Moon Knight, which was like extremely primal. Like, think back to the caveman days. This was an amazing issue. If you're not reading Moon Knight, you definitely need to pick up these trades and check this out. Moon Knight is one of those comics by Marvel that's really flying under the radar. To me, this is one. You've got really and truly 3 titles right now with Marvel that I'm personally reading. If there's others out there and you disagree with me, leave a comment. We could talk about it. But you've got Moon Knight, Daredevil, and Fantastic Four that, as far as quality of the story is concerned, they are who's carrying Marvel right now. These are 3, especially Moon Knight. This is a highly, highly underrated book. Great story. From 1 to 26, there has not been one bad issue. McKay has done an outstanding job with Moon Knight. We do get a little bit of the preview of Gods in here, and it's really and truly only 1 page, and it really and truly didn't make too much sense to me. Maybe they're going to kind of put it together somehow. I don't know. We'll find out. Next up, we have Night Terrors Batman issue number 2. This was a fairly decent issue. We see a lot more of the battle between Bruce and Deadman, since Deadman is possessing his body, and Bruce basically admits that that's kind of holding him back, that he really and truly can't get control of everything. We do basically, in Bruce's mind, we see a door that is chained and padlocked, and Insomnia thinks that's where the Nightmare Stone is hidden, but it's actually not. It's Bruce's biggest fear. And his biggest fear, he does come face to face with his 10-year-old self. And his biggest fear, the way I took it was, and I could be wrong, is that his biggest fear is letting go. Is letting go of that night. Yeah, there was one thing that was really sad that it kind of, I was not expecting it. It kind of caught me out of nowhere, was when he talks about that when the night that his parents were, that he lost his parents. I don't want to say certain words on here because I don't know if we're going to get, in trouble with YouTube. But the night that Bruce lost his parents as a 10-year-old, he sits there and he talks about how he sat with them for 90 minutes before any help showed up. So he's Bruce is really afraid of letting go, maybe on some level forgetting them. He does have to forgive himself some, and once he does, he literally takes off and he thinks he's about to take control of his body again, but then he realizes he's still in the nightmare. So it's like he's having a nightmare within a nightmare in a nightmare. I know that sounds really weird, but it works. It really does work. Night Terrors Batman has been one of the better books. So far, my 3 favorite out of Night Terrors, 4 favorite out of Night Terrors is the Night Terrors main title that's going Night Terrors Batman, Night Terrors Wonder Woman, and Night Terrors Nightwing. Those 4 have been really good. So I do suggest picking these up at your LCS. Next up, and I normally don't cover these. Well, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But Josh at Haven, they do a really good job of getting some books in my hands that you normally don't get to read until they actually come out. So I do get a hold of some of the advanced reader copies from Mad Cave, and this one right here is Crusader. I really didn't know what to expect on this book. It ended up being really good. So you still have time to sign up for this one. I don't even know actually when it comes out. It probably didn't come out for probably 2 more months maybe. I think that's usually when the advanced reader copies come. But the whole gist of the story is we do have a Knight Templar who is fighting the Crusades. He basically ends up stumbling into a ceremony that some other Templar priests are conducting, and he realizes that they're not part of at least in his mind, if I describe this the right way, they're not part of the true order. They all start screaming back and forth at each other about being heretics. Well, he ends up killing them, and he ends up kind of disrupting the spell that they were doing. Well, when he wakes up in a foreign land, and there's actually what looks like, I would say, orcs or some type of goblin or something. And he basically ends up having to fight his way through that. Well, he does find out that there are other humans there. Oh, they try to take off his helmet, and it's like his helmet will no longer come off. To me, it kind of come across as all of his armor is fused together now. I could be wrong. That would definitely come in later issues. But he does save another, let's just say orc for lack of a better word, life, and they are going to take him to basically where other humans are supposed to be. Well, at the same time, he's being hunted because somebody needs him. It was really good. Like I said, I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing going into it. If you're wanting something a little different, this is definitely one of them. Mad Cave Studios really does a fantastic job with stories like these. I honestly, I'm recommending this for y'all to just go ahead and add to your pull list, or when it does come out in a couple of months, make sure you pick it up. This was actually a very fun read, very quick read. This is Crusader. This is an advanced reader copy from Mad Cave. It'll be out soon. Just make sure you check your LCS. If you are local to my area, I know a dude at LCS. I kind of do a live show with him on Thursday nights. Have to wait and see. Yeah, shameless plug. Next up, we have, and y'all know they're going to make it at least every other episode because I can't get enough of them. That is AWA Comics, Sins of the Salton Sea. This is issue 3 out of 5. I was about to say episode 3 out of 5. Although I wouldn't mind seeing an episode or two live action. Hint, hint, nod, nod, wink, wink. Basically, Wyatt is on the run, and he's got the boy with him. He's trying to deliver the boy to Arizona, which is what the boy's mother's dying wish pretty much was. We do find out a little more about Wyatt, what's happened in his past, about a job that went south, and how he lost his family. His brother basically does tell Cecil, the boy's dad, that, here's the thing about it. If Wyatt thinks that this boy is in trouble, he's going to do everything he can to protect him. There was one thing that I read somewhere about Wyatt does not like guns, especially when they're pointed at him. Wyatt is no slouch. I think we're definitely headed toward a massive fight. I cannot think of his brother's name right now, but he actually sees, or supposedly sees, what Cecil is up against, and he can't quite figure it out. But basically, it's some type of cult, and either Cecil is trying to bring about it, he's just lying to everybody, or he's truly trying to stop it. But the only way to stop this impending doom, let's just put it like that, is a sacrifice, and that's why everybody's after the boy. This is definitely going to have I'm pretty sure, I'm going to go ahead and say that probably issue 5 is going to be an all-out just onslaught. I mean, it's going to be non-stop, and it should be great. Sins of the Salton Sea has been an extremely fun read. I love what AWA is doing with these books. I really would like to see a team up between Wyatt from Sins of the Salton Sea Sins of the Salton Sea and Harrow from Devil's Highway. I think that would be a good team up. Y'all know what to do. Let's make it happen. Next up, we have, and the bug does not, actually we're going to hold off on that one, so we'll end on a positive note. So next up, we actually have The Sacrificers. This is number 1 by Image Comics. Once again, another book that I knew absolutely nothing about. I went into this with a clean slate, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't like it, but I'm also not going to sit here and say that I liked it. Basically what we have is we have like these bizarre blue bird humanoid looking things. They've got like, you know what, I'll just open it up to kind of give you all an idea. But they're basically having dinner and everything, and you see one of the sons like looks through the window, and the mom gets all upset, and let's just, for lack of a better way to put it, let's just say that dad is extremely abusive. Well, then we kind of cut, and okay, so this is kind of what they look like. They're like some type of cross between a blue jay and a pigeon, but they're humanoid. But then we kind of cut, and we go to these folks right here, which is really and truly, I believe she's going to end up being, which is also the girl on the cover, she's going to end up being some type of, I would say definitely her father is some type of god. This is her father right here, and it's almost like her father runs off and has like this double life with his mistress. I'm not quite sure who her mother is. And he's preparing for basically this once a year thing that's supposed to be a sacrifice. And then he literally kind of ascends on this throne looking thing. Here it is. He starts ascending on this throne looking thing, and you think, to me it kind of come across as he was ascending into the sun. Well, then it cuts back to the Bluebird family, and a group shows up to basically, what it comes down to is take their son. And the father becomes extremely remorseful. But then you find out that the son is supposed to be the sacrifice. And then maybe that's why the dad had become abusive and was trying to push him away. It was just really weird. But then the son is like, no, I want to go because, this is my family. This is what I'm supposed to do. And then you like kind of see the sun god thing, and it's like the sun is in the air, but it's got his mustache or whatever. It was kind of weird. Honestly, I'm going to pick up the second issue to kind of try to figure out what's going on. But this one kind of missed the mark with me. Like I'm going to say, I didn't not like it, but I didn't like it, if that kind of makes sense. I would say, check that one out and see if it, see what y'all think about it. Leave a comment and let me know. Then last but not least, as my wife is over here to the side trying to distract me and make noises and stuff, now she's laughing, and Bug's over here going to her mom.
That's why I'm doing it, because Bug.
Yep. Next up we have, and Bug's going to be mad because I didn't tell her we had it in. We have Fantastic Four issue number 10. And let me just go on and pass it off to the Bug so she can read. Look, snatched it out of my hands, that greedy little thing. That was a really good issue. We get a Fantastic Four story from a different perspective. I really enjoyed this story. We kind of get it from the aliens' perspective. It was very well written, very smartly written, actually. Once again, proving that North knows what he's doing with these characters. This is a one shot. I mean, literally everything that you need to know, everything that's going on in this story happens in this book. I say it's a one shot, even though it is issue 10. If you want to see where Fantastic Four is going right now and how things are being written, this would be a very good book to do it with, even though it's being written from someone else's perspective. I cannot recommend Fantastic Four enough right now. That has been a really, really, really good read. That's actually the end of the pull list. But I kind of did something last week and I enjoyed doing it, so I think I'm going to do it again this week, but I'm really and truly not prepared. So what I'm going to do is, hang on. I'm going to jump over here and I'm going to snatch, we'll go with this book right here. So, if you are watching Shop Talk, you already know what this book is. This is my throwback pick of the week, and I literally grabbed it because it was quick and easy. If you want to know what the throwback pick of the week is, if you did not watch Shop Talk last night, go back to Shop Talk, find out what the throwback pick of the week is, and then comment down below what it is. Bill Fisher did it last week, and all he did was comment the issue number. That was great because it really and truly did not tell everybody exactly what it was. All it said was 251. 251 of what book? That was an outstanding move on Bill's part. So, if you go back and you watch and you're going to make the comment, just comment the issue number. I'll tell you last night. Once again, this was Pull List, and we will see y'all next week.